So I thought before we get into anything, I thought I'd just do a breakdown of that deal that you guys saw on my page below about the mobile home. It's kind of what inspired me to do this thing. Is I said a lot of friends asked me, like, hey, how'd you do it, or like what it was, and I just, told them, and over, us going out and sharing drinks or whatever, and I was like, hey, why not just start this page? I love to meet other people and hear about their stories and see what they're doing, different or better to maybe give me ideas to make a quicker return to do a quicker thing. Um, the one thing I will say is that deal, it all started off with, well, let me backtrack a little bit, and I'll post about the other one. So I found this deal was 4 homes. It was for like 155,000 back in 2018, and we bought them, and they were just completely messed up. Matter of fact, the fourth home where I put the mobile home on, it was burnt to a crisp. It was like in a fire, so it was like nobody really wanted to touch it. I took it over, and we invested capital of our own money into it and got like all 3 of those things fixed, and we refied on those, and we pretty much made 100% return because of that. So the fourth house, it was like a plus, right, in the deal. But I didn't really know much about mobile homes, and I just wanted to learn. So I decided just to go to a mobile home park because they said, hey, we had mobile home park or mobile homes for sale. I went to the park and just started talking to the manager there, and she's super nice lady, super friendly, and I'm a pretty personable dude. So I just started saying, hey, I was thinking about this, like, hey, like if you have the time, yada yada. And she was just like, yo, like honestly, we're just trying to get rid of these mobile homes and we just want them out. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, they're renovating and to keep a mobile home park, they want to have a little bit better homes in the area, not older models, so they could attract better renters, more like retirement people that will pay more there on fixed income, because right now no one's going to want to pay $1,200-$1,400 a mobile home when it looks like trash or it's older, and they don't want to wait for the position to fix them to do it, and they're like, we're just trying to get them out. So I was like, well, how cheap are we talking? In my head, I was like, oh, whatever. But I learned a long time ago, never say a price. Let the other person say a price. Then you come in with your value, and then you guys can meet, or you walk away because your value is, correct on your numbers. So I was thinking maybe like, 4 or 5,000 for a mobile home. And I did my homework a little bit before this, and mobile homes like brand new, like the ones that I finished were going for like, I think 125,000 here. And, go figure, one of the biggest Clayton Homes, biggest owner or biggest home manufacturers owned by none other than Warren Buffett. So I'm obsessed with that dude, by the way. So anything he's doing, I always try to look into, like, oh wow, like why is he doing this? How is he doing this? Is there any angle that we could play on it? Anyways, back to the story. So I was like, 5,000, and the reason why I said 5,000 is because it was like a 1970s home, 1977 to be exact, and it's still really cheap. But I just thought, hey, throwaway price right in my head. But she came back to me with a number that I can't walk away from. It's my favorite flavor, free. So I was like, really? She's like, yeah, because and here's the thing. Here's the thing you'll learn about the mobile homes is you need to be able to, you have to move them. It's not like, it's not like a regular home where you can just continue to read. It gets to a certain point where you want certain models in, or you want certain things that it doesn't make sense for them to fix it and to repair it. It makes better sense for them to say, let's just get it out of here, get something new in, depending on how it's set up for them, because it could be more even tax friendly, right? You could buy $100,000 thing, they could appreciate it. There's a whole different ordeal. And the owner of the mobile home park was pretty adamant, down to the manager, they want it gone because they just want to have brand new stuff. They don't want to worry about it. And that's the position they were in. But the thing is, it was going to cost them, close to $10,000 to get it moved. And they're like, well, who's going to buy an older home? Because people that are in the market want something already ready to move in, and there's not really, that much of a market. That's my moat. I came in. That's not my moat. That's my what do you like? That's where you live. That's where we make our money off the crumbs. So I was like, figure out how much it costs for me to move, and blah, blah, blah. She actually even hooked it up with that. She found a guy, and I had to move it like 30 plus miles from like 2 towns over. And this guy charged me around $12K, a little bit pricey, but the mobile home was free. It was 12K to get it moved and done, to bring it out. So I went to my local county and started talking to them, and trying to figure out what we could do. Eventually, I got the permits and everything. I think I ended up paying like close to 3,000 for everything, and the school home fees and all that. I got a lot of those waived because there was an existing building, and I went to the fire department and got them to sign off on it, and the school district, and told them, hey, like, the school fees have already been paid. It's just a home that's being burned. I'm trying to get it demolished and get it whatever. So they said okay, and for about 3,000, I got all my permits and stuff like that done, and it was like, I think 2,000 to demo it. I had a buddy just come through the older home, and just we paid $500 for a dump truck. We paid like for two of those, it was $1,000, and then I paid him $1,000, and I did it with like, broke the windows, broke everything apart, and just kind of tossed it and got rid of it. And then came the pricey part. When they finally got moved there and done, I paid about like, I think I did pay $25,000 to have it completely remodeled and redone on the inside. That's like paint, roof, new floors, sinks, tubs, like just electrical, everything done. Actually, that's one thing, is we ended up running into a little electrical problem. That ended up costing me another $2,000. I'm writing this down too to double check everything. I had to put a new pole in and all that. That's one of the headaches that came up with it. And go to figure, of course, an older unit, I ended up having to put a new AC in, plus new heating and everything, because you can't move them in. So that ended up costing me another 5Gs. So, but it was a total of, well, the moving it and the permit, it took about 2 months. And just because bureaucracies run slow, guys. It's just the way it is. It's not just California, which is... California is tough, but just in general, like, going back and forth, making everything line up, using paperwork, going from one department to another, and getting it moved, it was quick. It took me about like a week to get it scheduled. We got it there, and then to pay, the 12 grand included them, setting in and all that, right? That was about 2 weeks. So now we're 2 months and 2 weeks, and then to do everything, to get the power company out there, to get the remodel, was another 6. So it's 4-month project total. But we ended up spending, what is it, 15 plus 27 plus 7, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 2, 3, 49. I'm going to round it up and say it was 50, because I'm sure there was small part. Oh, that's where the extra grand was. I ended up paying 500 for a gas stove and a fridge. And I'm going to add up another 500 just because I like round numbers, and I'm sure there's something in there that I'm missing that somebody asked for. I'm pretty sure I bought lunch for those guys a couple of times just to make sure they were, doing good. Anyways, so it's 50,000 was the total mobile home for me, and I hate selling property. I don't think I ever will sell it for my life, because the whole point of this investing, the whole point of everything, I'm gonna talk about it again in another video, which is your time. You want to buy your time back, and you can't buy your time back if you sell it, because then that money turns into a certain amount of time that we'll talk about in another video. Anyways, it was 50 G's was my total cost in my own cash, because you can't really get you can, but it's really hard to get a construction loan or just a loan period on a mobile home. There's only like a couple of lenders that do it. And I just wanted to get this done. So maybe later I'll look into that and see if I can pull some equity out. But anyways, I'm getting it rented now for about $1,000. And not about $1,000, exactly $1,000. And the way I do my calculations on this is I just multiply that, for quick calculation, I multiply that $1,000 by 10 months only. I leave 1 month for occupancy, just in case someone leaves, someone goes, whatever. I want to be able to get it turned in excess time. And I leave 1 month out for usually just taxes, even though I'm way overpaying, but it just roughly this falls into a bigger of the properties already being covered. So the taxes and the insurance will fall into that aspect of it. I'm leaving out CapEx, which is capital expenditures, which means like maintenance, repairs, like someone leaves and they broke a tile, or someone leaves and they broke the way I look at that for this project in particular, since it is only like about 50,000, it's just kind of like, hey, when it comes, I'll pay it. And I'm not really going to put money aside for this project. I don't recommend that for you guys though, because if this is your only source of income or investment income, you might want to just take another maybe like 5 or 10% out of your overall collected income of the year. So in this case, for $1,000 a month for 10 months, it'd be $10,000, right? I would probably take out another $1,000 just a year and put it to the, I'd put it to the side and just say, I'm going to use this money when things mess up. Of course, you have a security deposit, but this is something that the tenant didn't mess up. It's not like they were running and punching holes in the wall or doing something crazy. This is literally like, I don't know, like a pipe bust or what, whatever it is, or anything can happen, right? So that's what that's for. But like I said, I only do a 10-month. I use 1 month for occupancy, and I use 1 month for property taxes and insurance, which is about right in this case. $1,000. I mean, that's $50,000. 1% is only 500, and insurance will be about 500 a year. So yeah, 10 G's. And to get your rate of return, you divide that by 50,000. I'm pretty sure my math is going to be correct on that. It's going to be 20%. And that's because, wait, how am I doing that math? Why would it be 20? It would be 5. It could go in 5 years. Oh, that's why. 10 could go into 50, 5 times. And that 5, right. Oh yeah, 5 years time divided by 100%, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Wait, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So that means theoretically, it's like I went to this investment bank and I put $1 in, and it's going to give me 20 cents every year for the foreseeable future. But even more, because I'm going to eventually have to raise rents in the years to come, right? And the reason we can't get that return on banks is because you actually have to put work in. You actually got to put the tenant in. You got to make sure the tenant's taken care of. Yeah, so the work that comes in is really not that bad. I mean, I listened to a podcast called Deeper Pockets. It's another great networking opportunity to have podcasts there. And it's always like, everyone that talks about investing, they're like, I'm scared of the broken toilets at night. I mean, you're not going to get that, man. It's like anything else in life. They say more headache, or no, more headache. I'm sorry. They say more money, more problems. I say more headaches, more money. So you're going to get paid to solve problems. And one of the problems you're solving as a landlord or a future landlord is housing crisis or housing shortage. And you're You're responsible for, their upkeep. You're responsible for the roof. If something goes wrong, it's on you, and you got to do it. If not, they will move out. They will find something else, and that's just the way the name of the game. Overall, back to the project though, I think it was one of my funnest projects to do because it was super quick. It was the quickest one I did. 4 months. I know it seems like a long time, but trust me, when you're moving through, like I said, the bureaucracy system, I was really surprised for it to get done in 4 months, especially with everyone's hands that were involved in it. But to be able to do this, to be able to make this return and get 20% a year, I'm satisfied with that. And yeah, look out for the other video where I'll be talking about, time and essentially like why it is that we want to do what we are trying to do here, why it is that you're seeking out this information right now, and essentially why is it that, it's important that we start investing now so we can enjoy it later. If you guys have any comments, or well, actually not comments, questions really. If you have any questions, you don't have to slide in my DMs. I'd appreciate it if you could probably drop it in the comment box about like anything about particulars about this project, in a sense, like how do I do this, how to do that, how could I get this, how could I get that. If I get enough of them compiled, they're really good, I'll try to write them back. If not, I'll make a follow-up video on it. So this is like a breakdown of that project. And yeah, stay tuned for the one about time. And I mean, a lot of you guys that follow this page already would probably already understand that. But yeah, look forward to it. So look forward to what you guys have to say. Thank you. I don't know why I said thank you. It's just kind of awkward way to end it. Let's just say something cool like peace or bye.